Andrew Lester from Cronulla and I'm 30. Grew up in Cronulla, born and bred, surfed Cronulla all my life. Cronulla is the most southern part of Sydney. Shark Island's just situated off the point of Cronulla. And when it's on, yeah, everyone knows that it's good. And, yeah, you walk through the mall and you got people who don't even surf going, oh, I heard the island's good today.
Adam Smith, 34 years old, live in Cronulla, New South Wales, Sydney. Grew up most of my life in Cronulla, moved here when I was about 10 years old. So I've been here for about nearly 25 years. It was quite a big day, and I remember I went out, when I got home that day, my dad said to me, "You surf where? Shark Island?" Because back in his day, no one really used to surf there, so yeah, I remember that day, I was about 10. Probably wasn't as big as what I thought it was, but I remember it was just the waves broke really close to the rocks, and it was a scary wave, I remember that.
Probably about 14, 15 years old, and I was just so scared. I didn't even want to catch a single wave out there. I don't think I really even caught a single wave. I was too scared to ride it.
And I was on like this big old Max 6 that I had. It was my first ever slick bottom board.
I remember paddling out and just like being in awe because it had just, underground tapes had just started, and I just had all these visions and in my head of what Shark Island was, and I remember thinking, geez, I could die out there. Like,
Dougie Robson was out, and I know Wazza was definitely out there, and just getting some good barrels and doing some little ARSs off the end and some inverts and stuff, and I was pretty stoked at the session. But I remember, yeah, the locals, Wazza didn't mind heckling me a few times, like, you don't do ARSs out of the island. He didn't like that.
We surfed it was low tide, and we just couldn't believe people would actually surf the wave.
Yeah, my first surf I was so intimidated by the locals. There was this guy out there called Skull. He had this black helmet with a skull on the back of it, and he started going bah at me.
When I was first getting into the sport, and I was a young teenager, there was a few older guys around, like Doug Robson, local guy who was really good bodyboarder and charged really hard at Shark Island. Brett Young.
The best riders out there are probably the local guys.
Percy, Nugget, Wingnut, Ballard, Rissole, Wazza. Hands down, those guys were the best.
Just those old school guys, they were the ones who show a lot of power out there, and they take off on the wave and they don't know what they're going to do on the wave, and they just let it happen as the wave goes along, and I really love that kind of style of surfing.
Nugget used to hit it and do big airs and get real good barrels. Perce used to be so smooth. Ballard, he knew what the wave was going to do before it even did it. Rissole and Wazza were just chargers, like they just go anything. And then Wingnut, could do the airs, could get the good barrels, so yeah, so those guys were hands down the best, for sure. And
back then they were kind of like, they're almost household names, like in the whole surfing industry. People knew the bodyboarders from Shark Island. Those guys kind of really put the sport on the map.
Bodyboarding wasn't really a sport back then in Australia. There was no tour, or there was no magazines or no videos. It was just real quiet sort of fun sport, that people just did down the beach. But then when I was like about 13, 14, I remember went into one of the local surf shops and they had the American bodyboarding magazines, like with Mike Stewart, Jay Reel, Keith Sasaki, Ben Severson, all them guys. I started thinking, wow, this is like a legitimate sport, these guys are in the mags and they're getting paid money off sponsors to do it. And they were in Hawaii and America doing it, and it made me think, man, we can do this in Australia, and that's kind of where the sport took off. Like, there was club events, and then, people would get together for competitions, and then the first Riptide came out after that, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Like, gave bodyboarding like a kind of good reputation back in them days, because the surfers couldn't really ride some of the waves that were breaking out there. So back in the day, like before Captain Cook landed round the corner at Kurnell, there used to be like a breeding ground for tiger sharks and that, but I don't know whether that's true or not.
With an old bodyboarding video said it's It was named after a shark, but it's because it takes bites out of people, so.
I don't really think about sharks when I think about Shark Island, but
Not very likely to be attacked by a shark out there for some reason. It seems pretty mellow, and it's the last place I ever think about sharks. Because I'm more concerned about the wave, I'm worried about surge, I'm worried about these rocks popping up in the barrel and trying to hit me than a shark biting me. So
Yeah, there's different parts of the reef. I'm not too up to speed with all the lake window.
It works best in the southeast kind of swell, and you just kind of get these big wedges, you know, like kind of slingshots you through to the next section.
I'm just trying to drive through this flat section, big backdoor slab.
And surge is a really uneven part of the reef, which you know, creates all those lips and steps and warps, and that's where you really get tested.
And that's probably the most critical wave you can ride, because you're taking off right on the end and you're dropping into it with no speed. You see guys like Ringer and Wazza surfing that section, they love that section. And then you get the back section or the peak, and that to me is the section to ride, because you can take off on a nice little wedge and you'll line it up from outside and get a really deep barrel through the inside section.
Whack it into fifth gear and go flat chat and try and get to the end of the reef, but you'll see a lot of guys getting smoked in between like that part and actually getting into the channel.
That's what makes it so challenging, is that you never know what you're going to get until you're in on that wave.
This thing's just trying to eat you the whole way, and you just got to try and like get through it and get to the channel. It's a pretty sick feeling when you get there.
Preferably high tide, but sometimes you can ride it when the tide's a bit lower. Just depends on the swell direction, really.
I had a surf out there 2 weeks ago, a week before the competition this year, and you know, I was freaking out. I'm 32 years old and I was crapping myself.
I've been surfing it for now 15 years, and there's still times when you get in the wrong position and you can't, you know, you think it's going to do something and it'll just, you know, do something completely different and slap you.
Some of the wipeouts, you know, you tend to remember because you try not to, but when you do kind of take off on a wave, you think, oh, this isn't good, I'm not going to make it. And you go over, you always kind of think in the back of your head, shit, am I going to hit the reef? Or
The guy who was in the expression session this year broke his knee in 4 places from riding out there. Wazza, who was also in the expression session, broke his back. And they're 2 local guys who are really confident in riding that wave, and that's just a display of how powerful and dangerous it is.
the wrong waves, locals tell you to go, and you go, and yeah, it wasn't a good wave because they're telling you to go. If it was good, they would have been on it. And so you're on a closeout real quick, just getting sucked over the falls, going on the reef. And, yeah, rock dance.
I've seen guys wipe out really bad and break bones and get injured really badly, but I've just kind of fallen off in the wrong spot and just been slammed onto the reef and just kind of dragged across the length of the reef. That's about it. Whenever you pop up in the channel and you're alive, it's not that bad a wipeout because it's got the potential to do some damage, that's for sure.
And that's the beauty of it though, that's what keeps you coming back, because if you knew it too well, you kind of get bored with it. To show bodyboarding in its best light, you need waves like this.
And I remember I'd watched a few videos of like Matt Percy coming in and how he'd like surf the wave, and anyway I've come from out the back and it was about 8 foot, started carving back thinking like had the songs and stuff playing in my head, and I thought I was pretty good. And then I just kind of come off the wash and started bottom hand turn, you knew it, and the thing just like hit the reef, got too deep, and accidentally, like I was that deep that it ended up being like a left pit that actually came into me. I was going to try and pull out through the back, and I just went, I'm not going to get through the back of that, so I just kind of like just pulled in and just tried to like ride it, and ended up making the tube, and it was like probably one of the best waves I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, you'd always kind of go, imagine if they had one out there, imagine if they did, and then for them to actually do it.
It took about 10 years of surfing the break before they finally held an event there, and the local guys were like, oh, unreal, you know, now we get to show what growing up in Cronulla was like for us and why we love to bodyboard those types of waves. So it was always like one of the most prestigious events, and one of the events I wanted to win most of all. I went on the Aussie tour and the world tour and all that, but this one was like, oh mate, if you can win a Shark Island event, then you know, it's in your hometown, it'd be unreal. Great.
You know, to see it evolve to what it is now, it's just amazing.
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, we got an orange light.
It looks like it's going to be pretty unbelievable.
If it's over 6 foot and it's heavy from the east, good conditions, I'd say a lot of good barrels and probably definitely a lot of wipeouts.
Woke up and it looked like a nice clean 4 to 6 foot day, and looks like there's even some bigger sets. Probably from record, like it seems like one of the better island contests we've had.
To me, locals out there are always the guys to beat.
What am I thinking? I'm thinking victory. What else will I be thinking?
Stand out here in the wonders of the unknown at Hadley, I sort of realize there's a fundamental truth to our nature. Man must explore.
All these locals want to win it. It's like Cronulla pride. You guys want to take it home.
And this is exploration at its greatest.
You know, I've done my prep work. I've eaten my greens. I've done my stretching. I've driven my 600 mils every year. I'm thinking victory.
Biggest threat in these comps, obviously there's the local guys like Sean Pine and Lester and that, but I think you got those wave magnet guys like Winnie. I think Winnie's the biggest threat for sure. He's just always picks the best waves, he's always on them, so you can't really beat the guys that are on the best waves.
Thinking I might not sit deep at the start and just get me two, and then go in for the kill. Shoot for a start, you hit an angle.
Yeah, last feed was trying to start off really slow for me. It took me about 10 minutes to get my first one. Last couple of contests I've had out here, I just had absolutely nothing. I sort of always had no luck out here, and then I just kind of hung in there and got that one first good one. After that, I just sat on surge at the end part of the wave and got a few little ones, and then got back out the back again and got another good one. So it's easily the best day I've had out here.
It's a nail biter again. Hard with 5 guys to wait for the right big wave. Pingy had priority and he only needed a little score, and he was in 3rd and I was in 4th, and then he missed it, and right at the end I got that like good barrel through all the way through, so just enough to get me through. So still, I think it's a quick turnaround. Gonna get some water, hydrate, and energy drink, and get back out there.
Good, I won rock, paper, scissors for the start and just slid into a cracker first wave.
pooped because I was being a fucking crybaby sitting there. And Stuart got a wave and snuck up on me. I had all this shit going through my head, just thinking the heat was over. 30 seconds to go or something, and I just fucking threw it away. Everyone knows like how to surf it out there now in the semis. It just comes down to who gets the best ones, really. When the good ones come through, it's textbook Shark Island, you know, like heavy flat bottom pits.
Pretty stoked to make made it through the semis, eh? Like the first heat didn't really feel like I did too well. Just scraped through really, eh? So, oh mate, all those guys are top 5 riders. So out here, like any one of those guys can win it. So it's pretty much a finalist next heat.
Easily the best heat I've had out here, and got another huge heat coming up now. Probably the 3 of the best guys in the world, almost. Lester, Hub and Benny Player, and they're just, all of them, they're just so consistent. Like even if they get the average waves, they'll turn it into a good score. So I'm just happy to make it through that first heat, and I'm really, just really enjoying this comp at the moment. That was the best heat I've had. So there's a good crowd up on the point, and trying to make it look good.
Coming fourth with about a minute and a half to go, and I'd been waiting for about 15 minutes for a wave. Went over this little wave and I just saw this thing line up, and I was like, oh, you're kidding, it's going to do it for me. You know, to be in the final, mate, I just cannot believe it. I'm so stoked.
Just want to get one big one.
You know, I was freaking out. I'm 32 years old and I was cracking myself. That's what makes it so challenging, is that you never know what you're going to get until you're in on that wave.
I don't care if I don't make it on it either. Come from out the back and then just race into the surge.
Scrape through really, eh? So. I was definitely looking for that section. I saw it just pop up and just went for it. Just kind of popping out enough to land back on the downward slide of it. To get best move of the comp.
The level of riders out here, like today, you just got to go big. So
My second wave, like I was kind of coming across and I just was trying to hold up my nose, make sure I didn't purl because there's a lot of steps. In the corner of my eye, I saw Surge kind of sticking up, but I was wondering if I could hit it. So I just waited a little bit until I got a little bit past it and then tried to hit it, but still didn't make it. Depends, whoever gets the wave. You know, there's so many good guys. The biggest threat is the wave.
Feels pretty good. Just stoked, and now it's time to step it up and get a few crackers, I think. Gonna try not to be too picky. If it's a good one, I'm just gonna go for it. I want to hit the lip, try and get a big air or something. But I mean, if it's just a barrel, then you just got to ride through it, I guess. Not too concerned, not when there's 10 grand on offer, so you just got to go for a couple of cuts will heal. Yeah, I feel like it's just off to the best start, and I just kind of felt that I didn't really know if I was going to be able to get two good ones in the time. The loop was so thick, and I was kind of just thinking, I'm not going to make this. This is a closeout. I'm gone. But yeah, I just sort of just squinted my eyes, and then I just saw a little bit of light, and just kept on going. Just try and get to that channel.
Incredible. Yeah, that's what I had it in me. So just stoked. There was good waves and that. So pretty special win.
Hello, everyone can hear me. First place winner of the 2011 Bodyboard Bet Shark Island Challenge, Dave Winchester. $6,000 going to Dave Winchester.
I can't see.
Unlucky Andy, he had a good day, just got picked on the end.
Get it, get it, get it.
Yeah! Give these boys a round of applause, eh?
I can't even see. A little bit more. Ow! I can't see. towel!
We'll just,
Is this
Winnie.
cheap stuff? Is this Moe?
Winnie, we'll just say a few words, please.
Oh, have we got a towel?
Oh, that's real professional, that is.
Have we got a towel? Oh, there we go. It's out. Alright. Well, I'm stoked to get my hands on this trophy. I never really thought I had it in me to do it. And yeah, thanks Dad up there. Yeah, over the face.